evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we bring you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Bea Diaz Fabros. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll catch up with the legendary Coach Tim Cone as Barangay Ginebra gears up for the PBA Governors Cup Finals.
Then we'll preview the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference Semifinals with Doc AJ Pareja. And we'll get to know 4 more of our UAAP Season 84 correspondents. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. After entering the playoffs as the 6th seed, Barangay Ginebra have now booked a return trip to the PBA Governors Cup Finals. Our guest knows a thing or two about defending championships. Joining us tonight is 23-time PBA champion and Barangay Ginebra head coach Tim Cone. Coach Tim, welcome back to the game and congratulations.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening. Thank you. Yeah, it's always nice to be back in programs like this because it means you're doing something good. So if we were in last place, you wouldn't be asking me. So it's awesome to be back. Thanks.
You know, Coach, what you guys did was amazing considering how your elimination round went. Again, you were now one of the lowest seeded teams to actually make it to the finals from a very long time. I believe San Miguel was the last team to do it as a 7th seed back in 2019. What does this say about your campaign and how the team has performed up to this point?
Well, yeah, we went through a lot of adversity early, and it was a difficult conference because we started and then we stopped and then we got going again and it was hard to get into a rhythm, and we came out of the gate, we won our first 3 games, and then we played what I call the Christmas Day Massacre. We played Magnolia on Christmas Day and just got hammered. And then we went on break with that kind of negative feeling. Then we tried to come back, and then we had MERALCO, Talkentex, and San Miguel, back to back to back. And that was a tough road, and it was like a murderer's road. And we didn't do well. And I think that was our lowest point at that point. I don't know, we were really down, but the thing about our guys is we have great leadership. They brought everything, they stayed together, they talked it out, they just lifted the level of their practices, and then we started winning and gaining some momentum. And the real key to me was the Talkentex series, being able to get through Chot Reyes and the Talkentex team into the semis and now into the finals. That twice to beat disadvantage we had was quite a feat overcoming that.
Well, Coach Tim, it's great to finally have you back in the finals once again. And what booked that ticket to the finals was that Game 4 win versus NLEX. Now let's talk about that. And the man of the hour, Justin Brownlee, with 47-point playoff career performance. You've been with him since 2016. Talk us through his drive to be able to win another title with Barangay Ginebra.
Justin he's just simply amazing. The thing that I was talking about him earlier to a family member, and we were reminiscing about him when he first came in. He has just evolved as he has since the time he came in. When he came in the beginning, he was like a stretch 4, more of a guy who just stood outside, wasn't really a one-on-one guy, didn't handle the ball too much. But he just has evolved his game as he's been around. And it's really been amazing to watch him. It's not anything that we have done, but I think the pressures of the league, the pressures of continually coming back and teams adjusting to him and forcing him to adjust has just evolved his game, and he just gets better and better and better. And to me, everybody says it's a career high. That's amazing to me that 5, 6 years later, he's still getting career highs. But he's such an amazing player, and more importantly, he's an amazing person.
Yes, Coach. Again, that playoff career high was something amazing to watch. But then apart from Justin, we got to talk about some of the locals who have been stepping up. Of course, LA came up big again in the last game, but then we also have to talk about Scotty Thompson, who really wasn't really part of that last game because of that foul trouble. But then throughout the past few games, though, he has elevated his level of play. He's now second in the BPC race. I always ask this question, are you surprised that Scotty can do the things that he does? Because when he gets up there for rebounds, it just feels like he could fly.
That's an apt description. Yeah, he does seem to fly. His hang time to get a rebound is just amazing. But, he's more than that. And I think that's one of the things that's kind of held him back, is that people just see him as a rebounder. And that is a tremendous skill, but he is so much more than that. One thing we adjusted, we wanted to try to limit LA's minutes a little bit. We wanted to try to limit LA's handling the ball, to take a little bit of pressure on him so he can stay fresher in games. And so we really made that decision this conference to kind of get the ball in Scotty's hands. It's like, it's your time now, Scotty. It's your turn to really come in and play that LA role for us, where he is the creator and the initiator of our offense. And he struggled with it for a couple of games. I think he just kind of felt the pressure, but then he just started to explode with it. And he really kind of peaked in that Talk and Text series, where he was just throwing out triple doubles everywhere. But are we surprised? No, we see it every day in practice. Nobody has a better work ethic than Scotty Thompson. He works so hard. You can see him work in a game, and you can imagine him doing that in practice every day. It's amazing that he can do it, because he's like, everything he does, he's out of breath because he does it so hard. And but he's coming into his own. I'm not surprised, and I just think that he's scratching it right now. You're going to see a lot more of what he's doing at a higher level in the future.
Now, Coach Tim Cone, you are now waiting for the last and final seed who you will be facing in the finals. It is Meralco or Magnolia. Now, both these teams, you actually lost to them in the elimination round. How dangerous are either of these teams if you will be able to face them in the finals?
Yeah, it seemed like we lost to everybody in the in the elimination round. We lost to Talk and Text, lost to NLEX, Magnolia, MERALCO. It seemed like we lost everybody in elimination. But the good news is we're playing at a different level now, at a different level of confidence. So but we're also playing shorthanded, and obviously we've been without Stanley Pringle the whole conference, and Jared Dillinger. We lost Japeth early in the semifinals. We're hoping that Japeth will get back in time, and if he does that, I think that will really increase our chances against both of those teams. Both of them have really good, strong imports. They're both very big, and they're quick in the backcourt, but big in the front line. And without Japeth there, that really hampers us. The good news is we might get Aljon Mariano back, and he is key because he can, sometimes guard an import. He can guard a key guy on the other team, maybe a Paul Lee or a Newsom or someone like that, because he has that mentality, physicality, and we kind of lack that right now on our teams. Getting him back would be big, and getting Japeth back would be big. Well,
Coach Tim, sorry, Coach Tim, but we're actually running out of time here. I apologize, but we can talk all day about the matchups because there's so many storylines going on as well. When you look at the rivalry you're building with Meralco, and of course, a potential Manila Classico for the finals hasn't happened in 25 years. So again, we're eager to see either matchup. Coach Tim, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Let's get you on a podcast where we can talk for 2 hours and let's see what happens then.
No, you don't want me on a podcast.
All right, Coach Tim.
It'll be 5 hours instead. Once you get me talking, you can't shut me up.
All right, Coach Tim. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
After the break, we'll preview the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference semifinals. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. The Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference resumes tomorrow with epic semi-final matchups. The heart of volleyball will be pumping at 3 p.m. where we'll paint the town red as Petro squares off against Cignal. Then we'll see some sibling rivalry as Choco Mucho faces Creamline. Tonight, to help us flesh out these exciting semis matchups, we have Doc Volleyball, AJ Pareja. Doc AJ, good evening and welcome to the game once again.
That's in his name, by the way, Doc Volleyball.
Oh.
That's part of yung formal title niya.
Oo. My handles in social media.
Yeah, it has to be there.
I've embraced that.
That's right. Well, you know, very apt because we'll be talking about the semi-final matchups. Game number 1 tomorrow will be against Cignal and Petro. Now, Doc AJ, who do you think are the key players to watch out for in this ballgame?
Yeah, for Cignal, definitely my heart goes to Queen Rad, Rachel Andak. It's always nice to see someone of my generation
Kabatch mo
still.
daw, di ba?
As if she's playing
She's a
at
good
her
friend of mine
prime
since
still.
college.
Okay.
So it's so nice. And she has been a very balanced player for the team in terms of the numbers. Her numbers might not be MVP level, but she's the glue holding the team together. She's performing way better even from her previous performances in other leagues. I'm so impressed that she's already playing second open. She's doing back row attacks and stuff. So a lot of revelations from Rachel Andakis despite our age right now.
And your Petro key player.
Yeah, Petro, it's definitely MJ Phillips. So it's interesting that she was put in the middle position from previous conferences where she's in the wings. And it's a good adjustment for the coaching staff for Petro to make do out of a lack of firepower from the middle, because that's my main concern with Petro coming into this tournament. Is that star-studded the wings, but the middle is lacking people. And MJ Phillips so far, she doesn't have the biggest numbers yet as a middle, but it's a good placement for her to at least put a band-aid on that lack of middle.
You know, okay, so let's make this like a thesis defense na. Kasi he made these cases eh. And syempre, when we talk about key players, each player will have to function to their role on that team. It's interesting that you mentioned Rachel Andakis. Kasi for Cignal, we were talking about Jel Cayuna off air, and she has been arguably the biggest revelation here this conference, because she is now arguably the best setter in the league. Why not her, or is there something that we could expect more from her, or that you need to see more?
Well, actually, with Jel Cayuna, it's not really I'm expecting a lot more, but I'm already impressed by what she's doing for the league right now.
Okay.
She has way better confidence in her ball distribution. She's very aggressive with her 1-2 attacks. And what's the biggest difference for Jel Cayuna from her entire career is the consistency. She's less prone to errors.
That's right.
Compared to before, and that's why she knows her players well, so she can distribute it better.
So before we move on to the next matchup, ito naman si Petro, you mentioned that si MJ Phillips is a band-aid solution. Well, at least for addressing that middle. Pero for them, what's that key to win, to get over arguably the hottest team in the PBL today?
Well, it's gonna be how to be more consistent in Zone 4, so that's for the open. So Tones, Sabete, Tiamzon. So it's a tough challenge for them because Cignal has the height, especially in that area. So they really have to step up for this game if they want to slay Cignal.
Well, you know, Doc AJ, it'll be a very interesting matchup, but we have another very hype matchup, the sibling rivalry between Creamline and Choco Mucho. For those two teams, who do you think are the players to watch out for?
Yeah, definitely for Creamline, my pick goes to Tots Carlos.
Okay,
definitely.
She's like, grabe.
Grabe.
That's the exact word to describe her performance this season.
MVP material, I'm throwing in my chips. MVP material, Tots Carlos. I like how aggressive she plays. I like the power and like the intention, because I relate so much to that, because that's my play style. I like everything with power. So yeah, that's why I'm very much a fan of Tots Carlos right now.
Relative newcomer, your pick here for Choco Mucho.
Yeah, for Des Cheng, she is gonna be crucial because she's more than Pongay and Molde. She's so far being fielded more as the open for Choco Mucho, and she has been really consistent in the floor defense, passing duties. But I need to see more from the attacking for Descheng, because so far Choco Mucho, they have lots of firepower from Cat Tolentino from the right side,
Yes.
but it's still lacking in the left side, which has been the critic of Choco Mucho even from their previous conferences. The firepower, the output from the left side.
Now, Doc, Doc AJ, before you mentioned how Creamline is really, in terms of gelling, they have it all. That really was their advantage going into the season. But for Choco Mucho, they have Descheng, they have Duque Ogansanya, who are still adapting to the system of Choco Mucho. Do you think that will be a disadvantage to them as they go up against Creamline?
No, not really for me, because I think they have had enough time with Coach Oliver's system, and Coach Oliver, he also has history with the school they came from. So I don't think that gelling is much of an issue, because we've seen Ogunsanya play for Choco Mucho, and it's not like she's different or she's new, because she has integrated herself well. It's just that for me with Descheng, it's getting her output in terms of points from the left side that is still needed and gonna be crucial coming into their semifinals.
So Creamline have a lot of familiarity going for them. In fact, see Alexis Tinsay told us in a report that that Creamline believed that they could be more efficient and actually end games quicker because they're so familiar with each other, because they know everything that's going to happen on the floor on their side of the court. Now, what is the key to win for them, though?
Key to win for Creamline is still consistency, minimizing the errors. I'm not a fan of the error production of Creamline in previous games, like with regards to their game against PLDT. So there's still so much errors happening for Creamline, in that for a top level or a trophy contender team, they really have to minimize those errors.
So those are the prescriptions of Doc AJ for all four teams, and it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really fun. Again, those games will happen tomorrow at the San Juan Arena. The fans are back. It's going to be so loud. I'm jealous I'm not there.
Yeah.
Will you be there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
have training.
I
I have training, but I will be watching.
Of course,
Okay.
whether we'll be watching live or not, it will still be very much exciting. So thank you once again, Doc AJ.
Thank you for having me.
Now, when we return, we'll get to know four more of our UAAP Season 84 correspondents. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
take a look at today's results for Day 3 of the UAAP men's basketball. Ansquame had a monster double-double, leading Ateneo past Adamson 78-47. Then Balti Baltazar and the Green Archers pulled away at the last second as they outlast the FEU Tamarao 75-65. And then Richie Rivero led UP Fight to its second straight win against NU 80-70. As the season continues, it's time for us to get to know more of our correspondents. Tonight, we are joined by Arlove de Jesus, Ozzie, Llige, Kaila D, and Andrea Endicio. Welcome to the show. I just want to clarify for everyone who's curious about when they'll come out, is that we're going to see more of you as the season progresses. You're not part of the basketball coverage right now, but we could see you in the future, and we're excited to have that. And also going to be working a lot here on the game.
Right.
So
Very
this is actually their first job interview. They don't really know it. But let's start here with Ozzie. Ozzie, you played varsity for volleyball, and of course, being part of this whole experience. How do you think that helps you? Having that experience and now telling stories.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I looked forward to the most when I auditioned, because I was like, this is definitely something I see myself doing in the future. So yeah, it's like a dream come true.
Now for you naman, Andrea, you're a pharmacy student, and you mentioned that actually you have no sports background, but when you entered UST, you felt, the love and passion for sports. And we all know, Pao, how crazy the fans are for UST. So what made you decide to be a UAAP correspondent with that experience?
Well, when I first entered UST, I instantly fell in love with the crowd. And syempre yung first UAAP experience ko, I felt how thrilling, how exciting it was to be part of the UST crowd. And I think that made me decide to go for it. I wanna be a huge part of the UAAP.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I don't have athletic experience. May fan experience lang ako.
So, bakit athlete ka din naman
well, I only look. I'm here hosting the show. That's it. Pero we now move on to Kaila. Kaila, so okay, you look familiar. I think you're related to someone. I don't know. Yeah, someone in volleyball, I think. But yeah, Kaila, syempre, all joking aside, you come into this, a lot of people actually know your sister. They want to get to know you. Of course, Kim Kiana D. Now we're getting to know Kaila D, who's AKD, if I'm not mistaken. That the whole thing is, you actually did play volleyball as well in high school. But now moving on, what do you look at this job as? Kasi syempre, being a correspondent, it's a lot different from being a player.
Definitely an opportunity, because when you play volleyball, there's a lot of opportunity to do it professionally. So because it's now a job, all of us are doing it. I think it's an opportunity for everyone to, somehow have a job in the future, maybe like this. And yeah.
You're an example, Bea.
Nice example.
But it's great to see that you are paving the way for your own path, aside from KKD. But for Arlove, you're a tourism student, and you mentioned actually that when you were young, you were exposed to the game of basketball, to the game of sports, because your dad was a player of the NU Bulldogs. Now, was that one of the main reasons that allowed you to actually enter the sports industry as a UAAP correspondent?
Because when I was a kid, my dad would constantly take me to his games. So as I grew older, I grew to appreciate basketball and enjoy watching it.
Well, you talk about obviously your connection with your dad, and how does that work out for you? Like, how does he feel knowing that you're going to be part of the coverages? What you had any conversations and excitement to actually start the job?
He's so happy because I'm her daughter, and I'm the one who will help his path in the sports industry and
find a way to continue it.
I'm so grateful.
Definitely that experience with your dad will really help you a lot. But I actually wanted to ask another question to Ozzie. Now, being an athlete gives you another lens when you actually report about the different sports and different players. Do you think that this will be an advantage for you as you come in?
Well, most likely it will be, because I'm sharing not just for the fans, but I'm doing this basically like a tribute to athletes. So I'm sharing a story not just for the fans, but 360.
Yeah.
So,
Andrea, you come in as, approaching this as a fan. You've experienced the whole fan culture. How does it feel how does it feel representing that? Because again, UST are known for their fans and are known for how much school spirit they show. How eager are you to hopefully represent them well, even if you go on and report for another school?
Of course, at this moment, it still feels surreal. I feel like hindi pa rin nagsisink in sa akin na I am now a correspondent. I feel like that's because hindi pa kami nagko-cover, hindi pa kami
Not yet.
But still, the nervousness is there, the pressure is there, but also, as you've mentioned, the eagerness is there. Kasi even if I come from a background wherein I don't have that much experience, I did not come from a broadcasting-related organization from UST. Ayun, parang dun ko hinuhugot yung lakas ng loob ko at yung drive ko na I will still do my best.
Well, sometimes that's all you need, pal.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we're excited to see how the four of you develop. We wish we had more time because syempre, if this were a 3-hour podcast, we can go on.
Kasama ni Tim Conta sila next.
Sila next. But then again, thank you very much for joining us. That is Arlove de Jesus, Ozzie Llige, Kaila D, and Andrea Endicio. And again, we can't wait to see all of you in the games very soon.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Bea Diaz-Fabros.
I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.